My crazy story. So I have been adopted twice. One of the first questions I get when I tell people I am adopted is if my parents kept it a secret. The answer is no, and one of my first memories is going to the courthouse to get my name changed. I always knew I was adopted, but I didn't know my story. My parents didn't tell me the story until I was 11. Every time I tell it, people either think I made it up or that I'm exaggerating the details. I was born in Pendleton, Oregon. My biological mother was a known crack addict with multiple kids, all from different dads. She was pretty much a train wreck. We don't know who my father is, but my guess is that he was a one-night stand, a drunken mistake, which was her signature. My mom didn't use any drugs while pregnant with me, and I didn't have any birth defects. She gave me up because she couldn't support me and her addiction. I'm grateful for that. She gave me a better life. Now on to the crazy part. After being separated from my mom, I was adopted by a couple. They were also train wrecks. They had adopted multiple different kids from different families. This was where I met my adoptive sister. Well, this family was awful. The mother was very abusive to the kids and treated them awfully. I was never hurt because I was a tiny baby and their favorite. The father was a child molester. He oftentimes peeped through holes in the walls to watch my sister undress, and he molested two of his adopted sons. When I lived with his family, I went to daycare, and this was run by my adoptive mother. She watched me from the time I was born and knew both my biological mother and my adoptive mother. Finally one day, one of the boys spoke up about what was happening in the house, and social services came into the picture. Child Protection Services rescued us from that hell and put us into safe houses. My adoptive mother soon adopted me and my sister. We thought that the hard part was over, but we were sorely mistaken. When we were readopted, the abusive mom was allowed supervised visitation, but that wasn't enough. Her and her husband devised a plan to get me back. They were going to beat up and kill my adoptive father and kidnap me. We found this out and we had cops outside our house 24 hours a day. Then the molester went to prison and she was denied visitation. My life was finally free to live. I have been legally adopted by my second set of parents for over a decade, and life is much better than it would have been had I not been saved. Thank you for listening to my story. It was hard for me to accept when my parents finally told me, but now I just see it as a part of who I am. Update: I forgot to mention, the abusive mom died a few years ago from a fatal brain tumor and the molester is still in prison.